Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to Gamerjoob, and welcome back to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So the character we've created for today's video is known as Slothangle. So we'll go into this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics and all that good stuff as well. But before we do any of that, do be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. But alrighty, with that all out of the way, let's get into the character concept of Slothangle. So previously in our Poppy Playtime character concept series, our main protagonist has found themselves in the deep dark tunnels underneath Melody Manor. Down here they met the mutant hybrid creation of Didgeridoo. And the other enemy they've met down here were a bunch of mysterious small creatures known as the Darklings. So our player had to do their best to survive against the Darklings and the hybrid Didgeridoo. The player found a wall filled with cracks and was able to explode it with dynamite. In that process, Didgeridoo managed to get caught up in the explosion. So now that the player is safe from Didgeridoo, they have to make their way through these dark tunnels. But the Darkling creatures are still lurking around every corner in the shadows, and they're gonna have to face a new enemy sooner or later. And speaking of a new toy character enemy, let's introduce them now. So the next character we're introducing is known as Slothangle. Slothangle is a mix between the prehistoric ground sloth and the musical instrument the triangle. The main feature of his body was the large two metal triangles and also his triangle ears as well. With his bright orange fur and happy smile, he looks to be quite the friendly character. But just like all the Icicle instrument characters, he wasn't chosen to be a final toy. So he was left in Melody Manor to gather dust. But the toys that stayed in Melody Manor weren't safe from pianosaurus. Slothangle also suffered the same fate as Didgeridoo. He too was devoured by pianosaurus and then had his remains thrown down the hole in Melody Manor. The little Darkling creatures once again took all the body parts and rebuilt something entirely new. And what Slothangle turned into was definitely a far cry from the toy he used to be. So now the monstrous version of Slothangle lurks down here in the dark. His pointy claws and multiple sharp teeth make him quite the dangerous toy. With his dirty, matted, off-coloured fur, he most definitely looks less friendly than he once was. This new, sinister version of Slothangle is also a blind character. But with the help of all the Darklings surrounding him, he knows where to go and who to attack. Speaking of the player, we now return back to their journey through the tunnels. They've found themselves deeper within this new tunnel system and need to be on the lookout for any other dangerous toys. As they try to find a way out of here, they come across the last thing they wanted to see. Standing in front of them was another one of these monstrous looking toys. But this time it was quite strange. Whatever this character is, they were just standing there. It appears that this character can't see what's in front of them. And hopefully this means that the player is safe. But moments later, those little Darkling creatures begin to appear. They start to speak in a special frequency that can make Slothangle aware of his surroundings. Whatever was going on, it seemed to be a special kind of echolocation. Slothangle charges towards the player and goes in for the attack. The player makes a run for it and tries to get away. As the player is trying to escape, the Darklings and Slothangle are close behind. The Darklings keep speaking to Slothangle and directing him where to go. The player needs to be quick and avoid getting attacked. Whilst they're running away, there would be multiple tunnels that they can take, but they need to be careful of which tunnel they choose. If they pick the wrong way, it could lead to a dead end and they would be attacked by Slothangle. So in this gameplay segment, the player has to navigate through these dark tunnels, and hopefully in the end, they'll choose the correct path that leads them to safety. They wouldn't have much time to choose which tunnel would be the correct way because Slothangle will be right behind them. But eventually, after running through all these dark tunnels, they find themselves reaching the end of this area. And as they pass through the last tunnels of this area, a metal gate slams down behind them. Slothangle is now trapped behind this metal gate and can't reach the player. It seems that somebody has activated this metal gate to save the player. But who could it be? Well, whoever it was, they must be looking out for the player, and the player was very thankful. Now that they're safe from Slothangle, they can make it further through this area. And hopefully as they progress through this area, they'll find out who saved them in the end. But until we find out whoever saved the player's life, we'll just have to wait and see till the next episode. So I think Slothangle would be a pretty interesting and creepy character to add to our roster of characters. I think his initial cute and cuddly design would be even creepier when you know what he becomes in the end after the Darklings get a hold of him. It's also an interesting gameplay mechanic to have Slothangle be a blind character and have the Darklings navigate where he goes. The player would need to be extra careful whilst running away, because if they choose the wrong tunnel and hit a dead end, then they would be Slothangle's next meal. But the player has to stay on their toes and make it through this dark tunnel and return back to the surface. And hopefully they can find whoever helped them in the end. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of Slothangle and what you'd like to see going forward. Also, I just want to say a very big thank you to each and every one of you who watched today's video and helped support it as well. All the likes, comments and shares are really appreciated, and we're so glad you're enjoying our Poppy Playtime character concept series. And lastly, just a very big thank you to all of our Gamerjoob members who help support the channel. If you'd like to be a Gamerjoob member, then do be sure to hit the join button or the link down below. But alrighty everyone, until our next Poppy Playtime character concept video, I'll catch you later, bye.